Hello, everybody. Coaching for the Soul, Thursdays at 3 has begun. If you're watching this live, welcome. Awesome. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, Bill Hobart, subscribe and like the videos. All right. A lot to talk about today. Hi, Kathy. One thing that I need to put out there is that this is a channeling session. All right. Those that know me understand this. Those that are here for the first time, again, welcome. I channel my guides for the next hour, but it is mostly them. I surrender to whatever they want to talk about today. Those that know me and have had readings with me understand that the more I get to know you, that the more Bill comes in, okay? So I just want everybody to understand that this is a channeling session. All right. So like I said before, there's lots to talk about. Lots. We'll see who pops on. Kathy's here. Boom. First person. Yep. So we'll see who else comes on. But there's a lot to talk about today. So we'll see. Kathy, you doing okay? I hope so. Hope so. Hi, Suze. What's up? I should be on Bill Clairvoyant. Am I on Bill Clairvoyant? Because if I'm not, I'm going to have to switch. So let me see here. Okay, let's see. Yes, okay. As long as I'm on Bill Clairvoyant, we're all good. Sometimes you all know that I kind of get messed up with who's who and what's what. So, yeah. It's been a weird day today. We have a full moon tomorrow, and we also have a lunar eclipse. That is extremely long. I believe it is 3 hours long, I think. And I'm going to read this because I got so much stuff in my head that I cannot, I couldn't pay attention to it fully, okay? So, so it is the longest partial eclipse in a century, in 580 years. This won't happen again until 2669, okay? This is eclipse season. It's connected with the Great Conjunction of December 2020, which we all know about that. It started a 200-year cycle. Hi, Lisa. How are you doing? Just reading something about the eclipse tomorrow, as well as we have a full moon. So the energy is freaking crazy right now. So the eclipse is a choice point between the divergent collective and individual timelines. Whatever timeline you select, events will accelerate at lightning speeds. Connect. All right. So, yeah. So we'll see who else pops on. Kathy said she had a weird dream last night with her ex. That's not good. Yeah. I tell you, there was another posting today that I reposted about lucid dreams. Okay. As we go into, the future, it's going to get more intense and more intense. All kinds of cool stuff coming up. So, yeah, it's a good time to be alive if you can navigate it properly, right? That's what it's all about. Is not necessarily keeping your feet on the ground because you have to ascend, right? But understanding that there's going to be some cool stuff, and you can't be afraid of it. Okay, can't be afraid of anything. Understand, everybody, you're 100% protected. Okay, so yeah. So I think we're going to start. Not many people on, but I'm sure they'll see it on my YouTube channel at Bill Hobart. Okay. There's two really big things the Spirit wants to talk about today. Hey, Tracy. How you doing? So we're going to... I have to separate it, guys. Hang on. Okay. Looking at your life, okay, and understanding your responsibility in it, okay? And what that basically means, the Spirit gave me this earlier earlier today, because we were having a conversation like we always do, right? About what we're going to talk about today, because again, he's involved with all of it. It has very little to do with me. All I do is ask him, what are we going to talk about today on Coaching for the Soul? And then everything starts to churn and burn and everything starts to get really, really big and cool. Okay. Looking back at your life and understanding exactly what it taught you. Okay? Was it positive? Was it negative? Which was it? Was a little bit of both, right? Going through and understanding, working on, trying to figure out what you overcame. What did it teach you, right? What did it really teach me? Taught me not to like those types of people. It taught me how to work harder. It taught me how to watch what I think. It taught me watch what I say, all kinds of different things, right? So understanding that is so very, very important. As we go through the next year and a half, it is going to absolutely be crucial for us to look back at all the things that we overcame or have yet to overcome. And I'll segue to this. I had a huge epiphany today. After lunch, Bailey had not eaten his lunch yet, all right? But he wanted pie because we have pie in the house. He loves pie crust, right? So understanding, and I do this and I cut myself today, guys, when Spirit talks about stuff all the way deep down inside of you, right? And this is triggered by the lunar eclipse tomorrow, trust me. And also Spirit says the full moon, which illuminates, right? Understanding this is, God, I thought I'd worked on this and I was good and it was gone. I was going to deny myself pie until Bailey had his lunch. He had no interest in eating his lunch at all. At all. Epiphany. Spirit says to me, so you will deny yourself the pie so that Bailey doesn't beg for some. And I went, oh my freaking God, are you kidding? Hey, Jody, I've done that my entire life until just about 10 years ago. Well, not even 10 years, probably 5 years ago. My entire life, that's why we're talking about this today, right? My entire life, I gave up food, money, love. I gave up all of these things in my childhood, in my teens, in my 20s, in my 30s. Why? Because I wanted them to have it. In Bailey's case, I didn't want him to have it till he ate his lunch. So I was going to deny myself. And how many times does Spirit talk about that? All the freaking time. Epiphany. I thought that I wasn't that person anymore. And then I started to think, the only person that I'm like that with is the dog. Because I want to make sure that he eats his food before he gets treats. Because I'm the daddy, right? But understanding that I was willing to not give myself what I want, which is, I'm going to talk about this in a minute, because I didn't want him to have it before lunch. With other people, I thought they deserved it. I deserved it too, but I'm okay, right? I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm alive. I'm surviving. I'm good. So I would rather have for you to have it because it'll make you happy because you don't have it. And I would be okay with that. I would be okay with giving my money away. I did that most of my life to my family. Giving my time away, which I kind of still do now. Giving my love away, which I've really done my entire life. On the negative side, now it's on the positive side. All right? So I love what I do for a living. And I loved my job in retail footwear, right? That's where my passion was. And it's truly passion. My passion is now this, helping people understand who they are more and more. And like Spirit always says, and I am 100% behind this, we have to work on ourselves too. And he always says in readings and things like that, that there's always going to be debris inside of you. There's always going to be some type of thing in your body, in your ego, things that you believe you've overcame, that will pop up every once in a while to remind you, aha. And that was an aha moment today, the day before the lunar eclipse, the day before this full moon. So as those happen, be conscious. Be very, very, very conscious that we're never 100% good to go, that we're always going to have things in our psyche, inside our bodies, that we still have to continue to pay attention to. And when those happen, that we recognize them, all right? That we absolutely recognize them. And that gets back into looking at who you've been and who you are. Hey, Kimberly. Looking back and saying, hey, Adrian, looking back at all the things that you've overcome. Look at all the things that you understand. I just wrote a post today on something in a response to something somebody posted about, I can't remember exactly what it was, but my response was this, and it fits in with this also, right? Denying things too. That our parents, the adults in our lives, take our power away and they forget to give it back. So then as we go through our toddler years, into our school years, elementary school, junior high, high school, guess what? Everybody takes our power away and they never give it back. And we wonder why we struggle understanding who we are. Because we don't know, because somebody always made those decisions for us. They always decided the things for us. Hey, Otis. And when we have to make that decision ourselves, like when people say, oh my gosh, you're 18 years old now, you're 20 years old now, you're 22 years old now, you need to grow up. What does that mean? What does it mean? And that's where the looking back comes from. That's what the full moon is all about. That's what absolutely the long 3-hour lunar eclipse is. Hey, Paulie D. Is understanding that the things that need to be illuminated by the full moon are right there in front of you. The things that are coming out of the shadows, that's an eclipse. Deciding what your focus is, deciding what comes next, and allowing it to happen. But this is the perfect time to allow those things to come to the forefront so that we can look at them and take care of them, or just recognize them like I did today. It blew my mind. I was like, are you kidding me? I cannot believe that I still have that inside of me, that I was willing to deny myself for the dog. For the dog, for other people, and I don't do it for the people anymore. I just do it for the dog when it comes to eating something. Because he's always going to want it, because daddy's eating it. Underlying places, right? Spirit always talks about that. You never know when it's going to pop up. And it's true. And it's true. So all of us need to understand that we need to take a good hard look at all of the things we've done in our past that we've overcome, that we now understand with age, with experience, with spirit, with consciousness, hey, Carrie Ann, with everything that is available to us as we move forward. It's interesting. It's interesting how we can get caught up in our lives and not pay attention. We don't live for the day. We live for, I want that right there. And I'm working myself and I'm working myself and I got my blinders on and I'm working myself and I'm working myself because this is what I was taught, while you're not even seeing the grass growing green in the spring and summer, early fall. All kinds of different things, right? That the trees bloom in spring. Because we have this focus on, because somebody told us that we needed to focus on one thing. You're too scatterbrained. You need to focus. You're too scatterbrained. You need to focus. Focus on that one thing. And when you're in school, that's college. Well, guess what? Maybe college isn't the thing. But your power has been taken away. So you don't say anything to anybody because afraid of what people think, number one. Afraid of backlash from your parents, if you have those parents. Some parents don't even care. Again, that's one of the problems with us. Hey, Shay, that's one of the problems with us thinking that our children should know. Well, if we don't teach them, because we were never taught. So we have to look back. We have to understand that we can ask for more than one thing. Again, some of us, I think most people, are told not to dream. That's too high of a bar. You're not pretty enough to be that. You're not pretty enough to have that man. You're not handsome enough to, you don't have the right body for a man like that to love you. All kinds of things. You're not smart enough to go to college. You're not smart enough to be in trade school. Hey, Shelly. Negative, 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 negative. And even the best parents, the best uncles, can have a negative twist on things. Well, do you think you might want to do this instead? And the answer should be no. My parents, I was blessed with great parents, but they didn't really have a lot of focus, right? They didn't learn a lot of focus when they were growing up. But I didn't need a lot of focus, right? Clairvoyant, voice in my head, automatic go-getter, Capricorn. I just need them to leave me alone. I'm good. Catch me if I fall, that's all I need. But my sister, no. She slowly got into what she needed to do because of her three brothers above her. I did what I did because of my brother Dave in Florida. He was my mentor growing up, as crazy as that sounds. My oldest brother, not so much. He's kind of a goofball. But my father had this work ethic that was amazingly crazy. Hey, Molly. My father worked Consumers Energy in Jackson, and he never missed a day of work. He might come home in the afternoon to sleep if he had a cold. He'd go back to work the next day. That's my dad was. Unfortunately, one of the things that we get indoctrinated with is that work ethic, which at the time was good. But in 2021, with the pandemic, with not having enough staff, they'll work you to death right now, guaranteed, and give you nothing for it. See how things change? See how as we move forward, hey Bren, right? As we grow up, as we grow into who we're supposed to be this lifetime, how we have to look back and go, back then in 1960s, 1970s, maybe even in the 80s and the 90s, hey Pamela, it was okay. That got me plenty of jobs because I worked like a crazy person. They paid me for my work because I had this perfectionist thing in my head. Because if I was perfect, that made a difference. Hey, Vicky, for me being gay, right? It was about, okay, if I'm perfect, they won't care if I'm gay or not. Society. Being told in 1984, and I'll say this again, the things that happened to us growing up, than that happened to us going through our things. When my manager in 1983, in the shoe store that I worked at in Jackson, in Westwood Mall, told me the reason I wasn't getting promoted, and I've talked about this before, because I was a faggot. I just ingrained it in me more. He said, you can quit, or you can just come to work and do your job, and everything will be fine. It's the 80s. Trust me, I got called that from people all the time. At 23, 24. Even today I get called that, which is crazy, right? So understanding that fueled me, happened in high school, but this really fueled me to absolutely show them who I was, right? That had my fire in my stomach. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna prove that this gay kid really, in the 22, 23, right? I can absolutely do better than you. There's a perfectionist thing I got from my daddy. As long as you're perfect, they'll excuse your not knowing. They'll excuse your being gay. They'll excuse your anything. That's where the perfectionism comes in. See? So again, if we look back at our lives, we go, okay, I see that fueled me to be the person that I was in my retail career before I started this journey 7 years ago, soon to be 8. We all have to do that. We all have to look back and look at how we overcame. How did you get here? The good and the bad. And it's not always bad. That's the thing that we really have to understand, everybody, is that our lives didn't suck all the time, but egos thinks our life has sucked all the time, so it makes you feel ugh, which is a lie. Does that make sense? See? That we have, I know, Spirit says sometimes we have to take stock of who we are, who we've been, who we're becoming. And really getting inside of ourselves and talking to ourselves out loud about, I can't believe that I overcame that. And I've said this many times, I can't believe that I'm still alive with everything that I've overcome in this lifetime. It's gonna make a fabulous book. I mean, I look back and people are like, oh, Bill, you should write about that. You should write about this. I mean, that's just my life. I had aliens in my house 3 different times. I have pictures. Really? Yes. That's just a normal life for Bill, right? Just a normal day. But we all have those extraordinary things that happened to us, which catapulted us to where we are now. And those things that held us back, that we really didn't understand back then. We weren't supposed to. We weren't supposed to. And as we move forward into new experiences, which is new energy, which is new everything, right? We have to make sure that we take stock, like Spirit said. We have to take stock of who we were, the great things that happened to us, the things we overcame, the things that we still haven't overcome. They're not as big of a mountain as you believe that they are, Spirit says, to get you to where you want to go. Sometimes we think too small. Why? Because it's safer. Instead of going out there and saying, okay, I'm going to ask for what I want, number one, not just one thing. I'm going to ask for all kinds of things because some things are easier to get than others. Understanding that the universe is going to bring you everything that you need, God, let's say, whatever. Okay, I got to stop. So Molly, I lived with in Jackson, in our neighborhood. And her mother's here, who was one of my good friends growing up when I was a child. And she just wants to say hello to you, Molly. And I'm letting her in because I loved her extremely a lot. And I'm going to cry. Yeah. Yeah, so Molly, she said that she loves you a lot. She loves all her kids, and I'm included in one of them, which makes me really cry. because she was a friend to me growing up. And so was Molly's dad. It's just, again, one of the things in my life, right? Hey, Teresa, one of the things in my life that, what kid does that? And to be where I'm at now. So Molly's mom, June, Mrs. Beeman, I was destined for where I'm at now, she says. She says, you were a fantastic kid. You were a fantastic kid, Billy. You were always a fantastic kid. She says, you knew so much about everything. We would just have conversations. Again, it's the craziest thing. I'd ride up on my, on my Stingray bike. That's why we have to take stock of our lives. We have to. Because you forget all of the wonderful things that happen to us as children. Does that mean that we don't come from horrible places? We do. All of us do. All of us come from places where, again, I always tell people, skinny little gay boy from Jackson, Michigan in the 60s and 70s was not a great experience all the time. But Molly's mom, June, and her dad, Walt, made it better for me. They knew who I was. They truly did. Didn't matter if I had my Kate Jackson wig on, and right, because I was very feminine, very, very just little and stuff like that. And that's who I was. And they were like, oh, there goes Billy. They'd wave or whatever. And then as I grew up, yeah, they always knew who I was. That's what my mom and my dad. I was very blessed. My family did. My adults in my family did. But again, that's why we have to look backwards. That's why we have to look backwards, right? And not dwell. That's not the point. It's not to dwell. It is about to look at where we came from and how we overcame it and what we still have to overcome in here and here, right? We have to, because you're going to be challenged every single day to do that, as we have, as people that know me, I'm challenged every day. And everyone else is too. Again, I meet people at psychic fairs every single weekend. And it's pretty amazing how many people are not on the bandwagon and how many people are starting to get on the bandwagon of understanding who they are. See? We all have to do that. That's what coaching for the soul is all about. Is understanding what we have to do to get from point A to point B to point C. Yep. And that's what and being able to allow ourselves, no matter what age you are, I talked to people last weekend that these kids, they're kids, like 17, 18, 22 years old, 24 years old. Hey, Chrissy, not knowing what to do. Why am I feeling like this? And living in northern Michigan, which is, my God, I cannot believe living up there and having to find your place in northern Michigan, in the middle of nowhere. And but there's a lot of nowheres in the country, right? There's a lot of nowheres all over the world. Understanding that our guides, right, will always get us from point A to point B to point C. We have to not get in the way with ego. Super important. And y'all know that. So looking back is not a bad thing. Looking forward is not. Don't ask for one thing. You should be asking for something from your guides every day. Let me have a good day. 1. I'd really like to have $5,000 by the end of December. Spirit, I need a new car. I need you to help me with that. Spirit, I'd like to move away. I need you to find me a place in wherever. Need you to help me with this. Key statement, I need you to help me with this. Spirit, I need you to help me with this. God, it's okay to say God, but Spirit is better because it's more direct to who you want to talk to. Limiting yourself comes from adults, authority figures. No. If you allow yourself to just ask for one thing, I want one big thing. What about the little things? Extra cash, new job, new furniture. But I really want to go to Maui. I really want to move to Maui, and that's all that matters is moving to Maui. Well, that's not, I can't do that because I want this and this and this and this and this too, as long as Maui. I want that too. And it's all coming. But it takes time to manifest. Where the littler things are easier to manifest. I've told this story before. I'm going to tell it again. Me sitting for a couple of months and in 2021, okay, Spirit, what's next? What's the next step to get into Maui? What's the next step to get into Maui? Tammy Braswell shows up on my iPad, her face, after them giving me 2 other tries that I wasn't conscious of. I looked at it, okay, I don't know, this woman's doing something live. Okay, whatever. Hey, Sherry. That's why it's so very, and Sherry, this is why you're here today, because I thought about you this morning because of the message I'm giving today. And that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Understanding that they will bring you the little things, but the big thing takes more time to manifest. So don't ever ask for just one thing. There's one big thing, like I want to win $1 million in the lottery. Awesome. And Spirit, I need you to let me know when to buy the ticket. But I also want to be clear when it comes to my guides. I want to understand exactly, so that means I've got to do what? And then it shows up on your Facebook page, shows up on your Instagram. I told people all weekend when I was doing that Psychic Fair on Saturday in Brighton, and then the week before that in Livonia. I
don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
It's my laptop. That's how much energy is in my house, you guys. That happens all the time, right? Again, that's why we talk. That's how they can manipulate energy. That's how they can bring you what you want. Because that's it, right? So when it shows up on your Facebook page, when it shows up on your YouTube, when it shows up on your Instagram, that's the message. That is leading you to where you're going. Don't dismiss it. Freaking take time by yourself and read stuff. Read. Say it out loud if you want. That's what it's about. Right? Because if you ask for just one thing and you're waiting for that, you're going to get so disappointed and you're going to get so disenfranchised. You're going to say, screw this. I ain't got time for all that ain't never going to happen. And ego wins. It's not true. It's not true. Everything that you want is in your vortex right here, right? And all that you have to do is raise your vibration to get there and keep it there. Is it easy? No. But guess what? Every time that you see one of my posts on my Bill Clairvoyant Facebook page, guess what? It leads you to where you're going because it's all inspirational stuff. Thank you, Molly. It's all inspirational stuff. I mean, I may throw 1 or 2 little things in there, but not anything that's really big and important. Kind of stupid stuff that I think is cool. But the majority of many things on Bill Clairvoyant is all about your journey. When I see something, I'm like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Oh, I got to put this on the Facebook page. I got to put this on my Instagram feed. Because that's what it is. That's what they do for me. My Bill Hobart page has gone from being whatever to being this thing on my laptop, which is all the inspirational stuff. I didn't ever, I'm never on my Bill Hobart page on my laptop. Or, yeah, on my MacBook. I'm never on that. But guess what? I started going on there. There's all this stuff that starts showing up. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to see that stuff that's not on my Bill Clairvoyant iPad page, because I go to iPad for that, right? It's different on my phone. They just bombard me with spiritual things, which I love. I think that is so cool that they're actually bringing me things for me to repost. Because they know you guys. They know people who are going to watch this on YouTube in the future. Somebody out there is going to understand that some level of their ascension, somewhere of their journey, some understanding, they're going to be like, are you freaking kidding me? And it could be a year from now. Could be a year from now. Could be 6 months, 2 years, who knows? But somebody's going to understand that posting. That's what the deal is. And then when you repost it, like it and repost it, guess what? You start getting those things. I mean, I'm getting things that I never even signed up for. That I've never even found. All kinds of cool things on Facebook, on Instagram. The algorithms, whatever that thing is, that's fine with me right now because I'm getting all the cool stuff. And you will too. Why? Not only because of the algorithms, but because of your spirit guides and guardian angels that are going to bring you all the stuff that you need to look at, you need to see to keep your journey going, but also to keep your vibration where it needs to be so that it can go higher. Because when you don't see inspirational posts, when you don't watch Coaching for the Soul videos, when you don't go on YouTube and see all the inspirational stuff that's on that thing, right? The Pam Gregory astrology and the Lee Harris stuff on Facebook and on YouTube. Those are two of my favorite people because they absolutely make sense to me. But who brought them to me? Not me. I didn't find them. They did. This will fit with Bill. Now, there are people that came in and said a little bit, and then I went, okay, I'm not getting anything from them anymore. Yes, that's what's supposed to happen. As you work on yourself, as your energy is better, as you're happier, as you understand more, then you can look back and go, holy cow, I cannot believe that makes sense to me right there. What came on my Facebook page right there, I never thought I would understand that. Boom. Light bulb. And when did I find out about this? When did I know? Well, you probably didn't even recognize that you knew it because they took care of it for you. By moving you forward because we can't always be conscious. And if we're conscious, doesn't mean that we know that they're activating something inside of us, that they're revealing something in our psyche. That is the next chapter to where we're going. And that doesn't have to be spiritual stuff, guys. That can be jobs, money, location, children, everything. Everything. Again, our soul knows the day we're born, the day we're going to die, and every chapter in between, and so do they. As you get to that, as you get on that timeline and you get to that point, guess what? Boom! I don't know where I learned that from, but guess what? I know it all of a sudden. Like when I was 13 years old, I asked my mother, "How do I know what I know?" She said, "Honey, one day you'll understand." Hey, Karen. I didn't know how I knew what I knew at 13 years old. How to use a hammer, how to use a screwdriver. I didn't do that stuff. I had two older brothers and a dad. I ain't got time for all that. And at 61 years old, soon to be 62, I still don't have time for it. That's what I got a maintenance guy for at the apartment complex. And when we have the house, I'll have a guy that takes care of that stuff for me. Because I'm not that guy. Never have been. Again, I know Spirit wants me to tell you this. And when I was a little boy, right? My father would shake his head at me because I didn't want to do that stuff. No, it's not who I am. My brothers, same thing. My brother David can fix anything. I swear to God, he's a master at that kind of stuff. You name it, like my mother. Plumbing, electrical, drive a nail, paint a house. Does that mean? Never was me. And my mother would always say, that's not who Billy is. Thank you, Mom. As my father looked like, oh my God, that child's never gonna, oh my God, that child's never, what do I do with this child? And my brothers basically gave me the same energy, that he's a princess. Chimes. But look at me now. See? We have to look back at that and go, okay, I get it. I understand why I had to go through that to be who I am today. And allow that self-reflection, Spirit says. And coming to terms with, all right, I get it. I get it. I get it why those negative things happen to me to get me from point A to point B to point C. But I'm still alive. I'm still okay. Do I still have things that I want? Yes, it's okay to want. I'm good with the needs. But you have to want. It's not selfish. It's not any of that garbage that we were taught from adults as children. That stuff is bullshit. Bullshit. Everybody needs to want. What do you want? I see people that all the time. What do you want? I don't know. I mean, I can actually, of course you can. You can have anything that you want. What do you want? It's just going to take a longer time to manifest the big stuff. Understanding that you can't focus on one thing, because guess what? You will be tired. As all the other good little things come to you and pass you by. Why? Because you're focused on that one thing. And that's all I need to focus on. Because somebody told me I needed to just focus on that one thing. Picture it in your mind. Just picture it in your mind. And no. Long term, yes. But what about tomorrow? What do you want tomorrow? What do you want next week? What do you want in the spring? What do you want in 2022? This, and this. Okay, cool. What are you doing to get? What are you doing to get it? How many times are you asking for it? How many times are you telling yourself that you have to believe you deserve it? If you don't think if you've been taught you don't deserve it, you got to work on that. Because that narrative goes around and around and around and around and around and around in your head. That's what we are taught. You don't need that. Oh my gosh, you're fine. You don't need that either. Oh my gosh, you're fine. Well, how do you know if I'm fine? I'm just a child and you're telling me that I'm fine. But when I really think I want that, because you don't think I deserve that, or you can't afford to give me that. So tell me that. Right? Don't tell me that I'm fine without that. Because you don't know how old I am, soul-wise. You don't know what I've done in past lives. I don't know that I know that, but I feel. Why do I want that? Hey, Doris, how are you? Why do I want that so bad? Is it to fill a hole inside my heart? Because you don't feel loved, or you're trying to make sense of things, not understanding things psychologically, the energy in your house, the energy of your childhood, the energy of your teenage years, the energy of your spouse, the energy of everything. So it's very, very, very important to look at those things that you couldn't have as a child because you usually couldn't afford them. So me, as that industrious child that I was at 12 years old, I got a paper route, the largest paper route in Jackson. 150 customers a day I had to deliver papers to, me and another person. I made $300 a month in 1972. So when I came back from Jacobson's in downtown Jackson on the bus with 2 pair of Levi corduroys in my bag, in my Jacobson's bag, my mother said, where'd you get those? Who took you to Jacobson's? I said, I got on the bus, 25 cents, downtown, 25 cents back. Oh my gosh, you went by yourself? Yeah, I was 13, 14. I'm good. Went downtown Jackson, went to Jake's, tried my pants on, all by myself. My mother's like, are you kidding? No, you said you wouldn't buy them for me, that I had to get Sears stuff for school. I'm not wearing that stuff. I want these. Want. I was an industrious child. The Capricorn in me knew. Was I blessed? I was definitely blessed. Molly says that was funny. Molly, I got the bus when it came down Varden and it stopped at Lancaster. Lancaster. And I got on the bus by myself and went, I think maybe Martha went with me. And I went down to Jacobson's and I bought my clothes. Yeah, Mr. to Martha. It's the way it is. But then I also look back at all those things that were not always positive, that were not only positive, that my industriousness could not overcome. And we all have those things, guys. We all have those things. And some people, like my sister, were afraid to do those things. Because she's a Scorpio and she's not her older brother, Billy. And I understand who she is. And I love her because of who she is. My brother's, my older brother, the one that's still alive, I love him too for who he is. And all his stuff. But I recognize what he did for me growing up. He was my mentor. He was so good at everything. Now, did that impact my perfectionist? Oh, for sure. But I learned very early in school that I was not the book guy. My mouth got me out of a lot of stuff, and my energy, my knowing, wherever that came from. See? So it's super, super important that during this time, especially tomorrow, and that's why I got the information today from Spirit about looking at ourselves and then trying to understand who we are because of the lunar eclipse tomorrow and the full moon tomorrow. I mean, who has that in one day? We won't again for a very long time. That's why I know. Spirit says that's why it's being presented to us so that we can actually look at our stuff. Pat ourselves on the back, Spirit says, and tell us, you know what? You're freaking amazing. Do we all have places we want to go? Of course we do. Think. 7 years ago, this past July, I was in the retail shoe industry for 37 years. And I quit my job after 6 months of them putting shards of glass in my face because I wouldn't quit my job. Well, guess what I did after 6 months? I quit my job to do this for a living full time with none of this right now, guys. I had a voice in my head. Right? I had a voice in my head. My mom died in 1988 of brain cancer, and she was the voice in my head, even more intense. That voice turned into her. And I thought everybody had the voice in their head, not just me. Other clairvoyants. See? So for me to go, and I used it at work, I used it to hire people, good people, people that my supervisor would never, ever, ever give a chance. And they're always spectacular stars because I can. How do you see them, Bill? I just do. I know exactly who they are. My mom would help me. No, not really. It was them. But to do that, right? To leave my profession at 54 years old to do this for a living. Because I know where I'm going. I knew who I'm going to be in the last chapters of this lifetime. And I believe it. Did I believe it 3 years ago? No. Did I believe it 2 years ago? Not always. In 2021? Oh, baby, I know. And 2022 is going to be that much more intense. Everybody remembers what happened on the winter solstice last year. That energy was massive. And everybody was commenting like, Bill, was there a shift? What the hell's going on? All of a sudden we busted out of just, ugh. That happened again on January the 1st. Projecting us forward. I know. Spirit says millions of people on this planet busted out of their shells. And then they went, WTF. What just happened? It's going to happen again, only it's going to propel us even higher in energy, higher in knowing, higher in understanding exactly what's what and who's who. And we have to know at some point in time, we're going to get clarity. True. Understand? See? So we can't stop that. That's the thing. That I would rather get on the bus and eventually drive it, hey Michelle, than sit outside the bus and watch the bus go by. I'd rather be on the bus. I'd rather understand what's going on with the energy, with my life, where I'm going, and how fast I'm going to get there. What else can I get? Because I want. Everybody needs to want. Sherry's like, me too. Trust me, I want to drive the bus. I'm a Capricorn. I'm used to being the boss. And right now, guess what? I'm not the boss. Spirit just said, yeah, how many times, Bill, have you said you're not the boss of me when I started this out? Spirit, you're not the boss of me. I'm the boss. Well, it took about 4 years to get that out of me. I always was the boss. Even when I was a child, I was the boss. Didn't say that all the time because I would have, my mother would look at me with that look of like, oh man, I'm in trouble. My father would just shook his head and walked away like, William, you have no idea. Yes, I do. We all do that, right? Sherry's a Leo. Trust me. Yeah. So we all have our stuff. We all have to be as conscious as possible as we move into 2022. 222. Look it up. Google it. We'll tell you exactly what's going to happen next year. And they're coming fast and furious, guys. Now, I don't know if anybody else has been in this spot, but I can't believe it's almost the end of November already of 2021. Chimes. That's crazy. Crazy. I'm be 62 years old in like 5 weeks, 6 weeks. I'm not cool about that, but I can't stop it, right? Fast and furious. Hey, Kelly. So the more that we know about what's coming in the future, by asking, by allowing our social medias to serve us, YouTube, Insta, Facebook, understanding as much as we possibly can about the lunar eclipse tomorrow, which is the longest in 525 years or some crazy thing. Not going to have it again until 26 something. Well, I know we'll all be dead. Maybe 2 times over, right? Understanding that the full moon tomorrow, we have a lunar eclipse and a full moon on the same day. That means something to us as humans. Transformation, Spirit says, on both ends of the scale. Because the sun is in one part of the zodiac, and the moon's directly across from it with Earth in the middle. And we're here, trying to figure out which way to go, which can be confusing, but then we understand, okay, I get it. And I'm going to post this. Spirit wants me to do this. I'm going to tell you guys, today I asked, what does Capricorn, is it here? Hang on, guys. I think it's here. What does Capricorn get out of the full moon? Yep. And let me see if I can get it to turn around here. Okay. The astrological spotlight is on your finances, investment, and personal growth during the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. It's in Taurus, so it's an earth sign, okay? The Taurus moon and Scorpio sun will activate the opportunities for new creative projects, shifts in your money, or creating a fresh stream of income. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to post all of those probably tonight. I'm just going to copy and paste them on Bill Clairvoyant. So everybody can kind of see, okay, check this out. This is what's I can focus on, or I can just be conscious of. That it's gonna activate things, because that's what it does. That's what it does. Teresa's like, what happens if you're a Taurus? I'll post you. Okay, so Teresa, if you want to know, just Google lunar eclipse in Taurus, what it means for a Taurus, and Google will tell you. I'll post it too. Probably, I'm reading at 4, so yeah. So I'll post it probably after dinner. So yeah. So that's Coaching for the Soul, guys. I mean, what an absolute crazy day that's been for me. I don't know about you guys. I don't know who is going bonkers on my. They got me on a big old text thing, which is, I don't want to be on those things, but that's all that. What else going on? No psychic fairs till January. They kind of slow down and end because of the holiday. I'll still be doing readings every day, including Saturday. So if somebody needs something, let me know. 248-310-7689, billhobart.com. Like my YouTube channel, please, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And like the videos, just go through and watch some stuff and like them. What else is going on? I think that's it. So everybody have a good Thanksgiving. I won't see you next week. I might do it on Wednesday instead of Thursday, because Thursday's Thanksgiving. Might do it on Wednesday. I'm not sure. Whatever he wants to do, we're going to do it. That's the way it works. Talk out loud, talk out loud, talk out loud. Ask what you want. Can be everything that you want, you guys. There's nothing off limits. There's nothing off limits. Little stuff, big stuff, right? That's what it's about. So thanks, everybody. I will see you probably sometime next week. Coaching for the Soul, Thursdays at 3.